Hello and welcome, I'm bballjo and this is Transport Fever 2. They just had a humongous autumn update, which may be the final big update of this game. The main thing in there is more higher volume traffic should be possible, especially on the road, so building road networks may now actually mean something more than just still having the same traffic jam as before. On top of that, a couple quality of life improvement and some rail improvements for lane, rail, and placing road and all the other things that look really interesting. So I thought, hey, how about we just start a new series? What's the goal for the series? I would like to get as much of the map built. We are on a 1 to 3 large map. We're playing on hard difficulty. All the industries have quick replacements and very frequent replacements on. We have about 30 cities, about 60 industries sitting here right now, but because of the replacements, I'm not worried about where they are right now too much as long as I use them. And did I say we play on hard difficulty? Yeah, probably. And the goal of this series is simply to get as much traffic going as possible so we can push this update to its limits, because I'm excited to see a lot more stuff moving around than I have before. If you have played this game, you know that rail is king, but road is cool, especially if we can make road behave in a way that actually makes us happy. I checked out the map that will be in the description below, so you can play along. No mods are enabled for the map creation, but episode 1 will have probably a couple of the deluxe map mods, all that stuff. The urban games mods, none of the workshop mods, because I would like to keep this very vanilla if possible, but we have to get started somewhere. And I think if you don't have oil available, which we don't have a good oil connection available, the closest one, all the oil fields are up here, and the closest oil production would sit down here for the oil refinery, and then there's an fuel refinery right next to it. That is the best start because you can use the same wagons. I don't want to use ships right now. It makes life really, really easy, but I don't want to play easy too much. I would like to just see things moving along, and that's what we're going to do. We have a simple farm there. We have a simple food processing plant. We have Marlborough, Harlow, and Helston that do want some food, and they're close enough together. Plus, we have 3 other cities really close by, where we should be able to build a nice little network just in this area by itself that relies on buses and potentially a train if we really want to. Presale also has food demand sitting there. Every city is set up to have up to 6 food demands, so that should be exciting. And what else? Am I missing something? No, not really. Harlow, I think you will be our first hub. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get started, because it's really simple. I'm going to let the game just figure out what it wants to do, because the buildings may not be all fully updated, so I'm letting it play forward just a tiny bit. I don't mind moving forward in time, but let's do half speed, because at the end of the series I would like to be in the 2000s, because that's the high density buildings that we can get available there, and I think 2020 is probably the year that we actually want to get to. Let's look at all this. We have 100 kilometer, 80, 60. 80 is probably our minimum target. But we should make sure that our road depots, and we did say that I would like this one to be our, look at that snapping, that's one of the updates. You can actually now snap directly to the road and not make it look completely hideous like I sometimes wanted to do earlier. But this looks good. 13,000 for that build, yeah. Autosave, perfect timing as usual. Let's check out what vehicles we have available for just grain transport, which this one is not a bad one. You are still sitting at 80 kilometers, so that's one of the fastest trucks. That's what we're just going to start with, and we will just upgrade the roads as we need them down the road. So let's get you here. I would like to have you as a nice little connection. You see these lines? You can actually run on those lines now, and then you know that you're actually running straight, even though I'm at a really funny angle to make them actually look straight. I like the swoop in motion, so that's cool, and these are 60 km/h roads, so we will upgrade those to make this a little more effective and efficient for all our vehicles, and get into the different cities. Yes, this costs money, but in a grand scheme of things, this is money that you should get back relatively quickly. So that's a first start. Cool. Let's get a couple trucks going, and I will try to place them in a way that doesn't require us to replace our truck stop right away, which would be over here. I will make you long right away because I have a feeling that this is going to become a double stop relatively quickly. I'm actually going to have 2 on one side. Let's do 2 on this side because I'm going to use 2 for our general transport and then 1 for delivery out to Harlow for right now so we can bring stuff back. That feels good. This is food delivery, and food delivery will need 1 drop-off zone, which I'm very tempted to just use the truck unloading stop, but we just set it up so that we actually have to bring something back, which would be, we take grain from here to the food factory and then food from here to the grain factory, and then we can deliver it to Harlow. We can also just use the same truck, so just deliver it right away. That's probably fine because it's really not that far away. Now, trucks should be fast enough to make that work right now. I would like our... we have to stop somewhere. We have to start somewhere. We're going to set up this truck stop right here. We can grow it later on if we really want to, with all the different tools that the configuration tool gives us, which are honestly really, really cool. And just see what we need. But for right now, 3 should be fine. It's probably even overdone. But we got to get started somewhere. First, I would like to set up a line that gets us the grain transported to our food factory and then brings it back, which means we cannot use the dump truck, which can transport grain. If you hover over it, you can actually see it. We have to use one of the everything trucks that has all cargo type capacities. This one's a smaller one, a little slower, and it looks like we only have European vehicles enabled, which is fine. But yeah, let's just get started. I would like 4 of these to get started. And then we set up a very simple line. All we're going to do is go from there to there. In Harlow West, I would like you to load. Max stop time is honestly forever. Load, you have to wait until full. Very important. And then what would I like you to load? Honestly, let's do this so it's a little easier for me to follow what we're doing. In Harlow, we are going to load grain. And we're going to unload food if that ever becomes available. That should be good. I would also like you to go to, and let's do this, get a little closer. I would also like you to not block different transfers here. So I will like you to go to 2 and to 3. We will maybe use 1 for something else, but I have a feeling at some point we will have a lot of trucks running around here doing something nefarious, and yeah, keep them out of the way. This looks good. If you drop them off right there, you shouldn't interfere with yourself. So that's fine. And then on the way out, I actually wouldn't mind. We don't need a maximum stop time, but if you can load something if available, and that what I want you to load would look like this. Unload grain. You don't have to do this, but I like it to keep better track of everything. Then just load food. If you can get food on here, load food. That would be super, which won't be turned on right away, simply because we are not delivering that food anywhere yet. We should check out how much food we actually need. Harlow, how much food would you like? You already need 90. That is perfect because that's a full farm. The other cities that we have of Marlborough, another 90. Perfect. That is another farm that we have to add here. Why? Because the ratio is 2 grain items to 1 food item. And this farm right now can move 200 items, and we're already shipping 90 with the 4 trucks that we have. But we can't turn it on any faster because this guy simply isn't turned on yet. But that will be a very simple fix. I am tempted to send my trucks up here, like I said before, and not set up a second line. So that's what we're going to do. Truck, stop, unload. Put it somewhere where it can reach everything that you care about, in this case food, and can get back to where you want it to go relatively quickly. This is not the best location, but it's definitely a location where I can cover all of the bread items, and I'm actually realizing this may be better because then I don't have to interfere with itself. I would like to remove this stop because you do pay interest. Not interest, but you do pay maintenance on those when they're on. So that feels good. Let's talk to this guy again. Line 1, manage line. After you go down here, I would like you to stop in Harlow and drop off whatever you have. That would be great. If you are curious what the difference between the road stations that are placed here, so this one, the truck unloading stop, and then the truck station can actually store something that you can pick up from. The truck unload stop can only unload and nothing else. Look at this, it's not even crossing itself, which is actually super and wonderful, and a good start for the series. What should we name this? This is Harlow Food and Grain Run. Actually combined. Maybe. We'll start with that. What's our rate? Our rate is 112, and this is the important one. This is what we want to match onto the production and demand numbers, which means right now this guy knows that the consumers that it has is Harlow. Right now only 7 because the first truck just left. But Harlow should be able to get up to 90 because everything is now in catchment of the little unloading stop that we have here. All of these buildings that we had before. If you're not sure where they are, no problem. You can just hover over here on the cargo layer, keypad 6 obviously, and look at what you have in range. And this station, well, has everything highlighted. If you go away from that, you see these light blue lines, and if you click on it, you see everything highlighted that's currently close by, which is all of these buildings. Cool. I think it's a little hard to see, but you see what I'm getting at, right? When you place it, it's a little easier to get there. So those trucks are doing that run. They have a rate of 112. We may as well just level up to the range that we need, which is clone selected vehicle. And I'm going to look at this number. That number should stay, shouldn't go above 200. That's the goal here. 197 is as close to 200 we get without going over, so we should never have a truck waiting, besides the first run here. And that is exactly what we're going for. So far, so good. Yes, train would be cool. But this is fine so far. As you can see, we're already losing a little bit of money here for maintenance, but that's how hard, if you want to play on hard mode, the maintenance is just going to kill you really fast unless you have relatively effective routes set up already. Cool. We did say, Harlow, you will be our first hub. I think I used hub. And it should be. I like it to be a hub. But to make that actually work, we actually need a little bit of public transportation set up here as well. And for right now, that's just going to be buses, and we're just going to set up the simple buses. Why would we do that? Oh, that's simple. Because you see these numbers here, pluses and minuses over here, because we have a little bit of noise pollution apparently. The more pluses we get, the faster the city grows, the more demands we get for things, and the more money we can make with deliveries that we can make. With different cargo. Right now it's just this one, but as you can see, this number I think is already increased by 1. That's just one extra house. They always switch all over the place, but it's a good start. And then, yeah, machine parts, they're hard to build, but that's cool. This number is actually one of the easier ones to increase, because right now we have 1,322 destinations. Each destination is one building, and that gives us a growth of 131 residents out of a 306 city. And that is good. All we need to do now is expand that a little bit and see where people want to go. Right now, if we zoom in here, private transport, currently nothing public transport. We have 76 people going this way and about 80 people going this way, which is pretty exciting. Where do they go? They split up again over here. But as you can see, there's already a lot of traffic over here. Oh, this is good. This is what I wanted to see, because I would love to get in here relatively soon and start messing with the road setups, because we have roundabouts, we have a bunch of different things that should make our life relatively simple. But yeah, I like seeing this traffic, because if I can fix it relatively soon, we will. We don't need to right now, because we have no horse in this fight, but once I add the bus, which is what we're going to do right now with bus line, we will care that our traffic actually flows, because the frequency that you just saw on here with the rate already 240, it's a little higher than what it was. Maybe I have to take a truck off. Maybe I just send a truck home. I don't know. As long as there's nobody parked here too long, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, one truck, no more than that, and we'll just see how that works. How are you doing? You're 7 of 17. The next truck is already coming. It's very possible I just want to send you home. We are playing, I am sending him home. We are playing on hard, which just means if you do this wrong, there's a high chance that you're going bankrupt relatively fast. And I don't want that. Wonderful. So let's get a, road network set up. The easiest one that I see here, and I'm pressing pause because destroying buildings is expensive and I don't have that money right now, but there's a nice little road sitting right here that's already connected to everything that I care about. We can get a bus tram station. We have Heston, we have Felixstowe, obviously Harlow, Marlborough, South Petherton, and I have to decide how I want to route the traffic here. I think Marlborough is a good secondary hub that we have Presaw. No, Presaw can probably go to Harlow. So I want Felixstowe to go to Harlow. I want Helston to go to Harlow. South Petherton or Marlborough. I think Marlborough is a better approach. So I need 1, 2, 3 direct connections right now and potentially a quick city run. So that gives me 4. I'm just doing hopefully some semi-accurate math here just to make sure that we can get all the connections that I want. But yeah, we're just going to plop this one in here for a simple bus connection, and then I will add one simple bus route where we're just going to use one bus, and I think it will help us a little bit. If it doesn't help, we just take it out and don't worry about it. I'm making this a bus station because a bus stop just has a smaller capacity, but I am hoping, let's see, place it here. The best place to place all of your buildings is right in the center of town, which is where the name of the town is. Doesn't matter what the town looks like, that is the center, and you should have the highest reach. And I would like this one to mostly reach all the residentials, which is right here. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't have a humongous capacity, and if there's too many, will be too many people waiting there. We just have to fix that, but for right now, this should be good. Again, I care about residential the most. The commercial over here is also interesting, but it's not my highest priority, so I'm just going to add it in a couple places. Over here, we are in a slightly different situation because this town is significantly smaller, but I don't want traffic to suffer from anything that I do here. So how about we add a quick city street just right over here. This will cost me a little bit of money, 314,000. But I think it could be worth it if I make it a little turn. No, I like the straight one better. Cool. Because now a bus can actually come in here and turn around without blocking everything, and that is what I needed out of this, so that feels good. I think we have a couple more roads that I need to upgrade to just guarantee that we have relatively smooth travel with our buses. That feels good enough, and I think we can get started on getting the bus route set up. And that's what we wanted, and if those work relatively well, we should be in a pretty good position to continue. You're doing 21, you're doing 16. I think we have a chance to do a couple different ones here. This one will probably be a double bus, and the game usually does a pretty good job of... Did I send all of them? Yeah, maybe. The game does a pretty good job of spacing out vehicles right away, so that should be really good. Church Road over here, all the way down to Harlow Central, and that's your first run. That looks good. With buses, I never set them to wait until loaded, so hopefully that makes sense. This would be bus, Harlow, and what's the other one? It's not Church Road. It would be Felix. Okay. Just have to remember that at some point you will have so many lines set up that you will just get confused, and that's not worth it. That's one. Let's do the other one. It's going to be Helston to Harlow, and Harlow's our hub, so I'm going to try to keep Harlow in the front of the naming. B, Harlow, Helston? Was that what it was? Helston, yeah. Helston. And then obviously we do another one for Marlborough coming back, and this is a bigger one. And that's important for setting up the correct Marlborough. For setting up the correct buses for this, because now we have the lines. Great. I would expect that there's a truck somewhere in here. There's a truck. You have nothing. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to run there. But we have the smaller buses set up for the Harlow Felixstown because it's a smaller town. Helston is also a little smaller. So if we get a couple more buses here, let's do these. If you don't like the color, there was a way to change that in here, but I don't see one right now. But it's fine. We just get those two, get those assigned. There's our coloring. I would like you to be, sure, greenish. And you will go to Helston. And then we get 2 more of the bigger buses, which will be responsible for going out to Marlborough. Perfect. And they can start doing their traffic thing. And I do appreciate this one because this is the first opportunity where we can go ahead and actually make sure that our new tools are functional and helpful. This is what I want. I want the roundabout. Number of lanes, definitely 2. Inner radius a little bigger. And I would like to place you here, but I think the game potentially makes this a little funky. Let's do this. Take that one back, that one back, that one back. I know this may look like cheating, but this is just absolutely necessary finagling of game mechanics. If you don't like this, you have a couple of options. You can place another road somewhere that will create another node. Just this, so you can then just remove a little bit of road there. That should be fine, and this one may actually run into exactly where we need it. Give me that 60, give me this one, and then I would like that. I would like to stay close to 90%. I think that would be good. You don't always get 90%, but I think right now these feel relatively 90-ish. So let's hope that this is already helping with the traffic that we had running here earlier. And we'll just see how that goes down the road. After you do things like this, sometimes it's nice to just smooth out things a little bit. There we go. That's what I wanted. We don't need it to look ugly. Yes, this cost us a little bit of money, but maybe that's totally worth it. We got more vehicles now driving everywhere, and I don't see anyone taking the inside lane just yet, which is slightly interesting. And I do wonder if the traffic that we have here is appropriate. Maybe the problem is that this roundabout is too small, and they just decide not to take any funny routes. But there we go. That's our first start. And that's our first bus that will hopefully make a little bit of money once it arrives in Marlborough. It currently has 1 person waiting there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we don't have enough grain to really expand out much further, and we are starting to have almost 100% of the production going here, which is great. But to do more than that, we will require these are making money. That's wonderful. We will require another farm because this one is completely full. There's another farm nearby, one down there, and that one may actually be a good distance for potentially a train. There's a chance here. I don't know how much I want to use ships yet, so there's a high chance that that's not going to happen. And I see one more thing that we can do right now that will be a very quick fix, because we have South Petherton. South Petherton is relatively big with 341 in this region at least. And because it is big, it should give us a relatively good return if we add our a bus route here. So the bus route that I want to add is simply going to go up to Marlborough, and the public transit in this game works relatively well. I'm spacing this out here a little bit, and apparently it didn't get the same setup, but it should be in catchment radius. Public transit is working relatively well. That people from here that want to go to Harlow will go through Marlborough if that's the only option, and it's relatively fast. They may not take this right away because, well, It's not a direct route. The buses are not the fastest, or at least not faster than like a new line. They're not faster than the private transport that they already have, so we just have to see how this works. But you will go from South Petherton to Marlborough, and that's a truck route. That's the problem. That's what you did wrong. You said it's going to be fast, but really what you did is just make this more difficult because you clicked the wrong button. That happens. Trust me, that has happened more than once. But now that's a bus route here. We'll make it a bus route on this side, and then we can fix the rest. And this time they should actually combine into the same station. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. Cool. There's the line. We did start, well, we added the original station, but that was the wrong one. New road here down to here, and as you can see, you only get the road names instead of the city names if you have the stations. Maybe that matters to you, maybe it doesn't. But there we go, and this will be B. Excuse me, did something unneeded there, but I want you to be B south, so Beth to Marlborough. Cool. This one should also get a relatively big bus, and these are things that we can easily expand down the road. Where are you, Soapy Bombo? Expand down the road once we have the right capacity and the right needs arising everywhere, and that will be very exciting. That truck that was here disappeared to somewhere else. Where is it? Where's our truck list? It will be over here. There should be a truck on the wrong route. It's this one. This truck does not belong here. Go back home. Stop trying to be a passenger vehicle. That's not who you are. Is this working? I would argue no. So let's see if we can do something here to make that a little better, because in the end, this is what this whole experiment is about. This is a country road. We're going to add 3 lanes where we can. This one is already complaining. I'm going to pause because this is kind of a thing that I would like to do here, but maybe we can trick you just enough by adding a little bit of no road here and just upgrading a little bit in front of it. That's fine. And see if they will take different routes. I don't think they will take one right now, so we also need the highway roads and then upgrade these guys. Hopefully they stay nice and circular. That looks fine. And see if they take different routes now. And that I gave them something to work with. There are road vehicles without a path. Perfect. If I just flip you around and flip you around. Really? Ow. How did you manage that? These are all stuck on the inside and they're never able to get back anywhere? That is not appropriate. Okay, you are actually stuck on that piece. Well, we're going to figure out next time if this is something I can fix or not. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to this series as much as I do. Because I've been away so long and I know things have changed, and I hope they have changed for better because this is a pretty cool game. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.